Electricity crackles through the bay as whispers swirl around a name that could rewrite the Warriors' destiny. Malcolm Brogdon, the 2023 Sixth Man of the Year, standing at the precipice of a career-defining decision, potentially charting a westward course that sends shockwaves through Dub Nation's veins. Welcome back to Warriors News Fan Report, where raw truths collide with splash era passion. Smash that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so your heart never misses a beat. Now, let's dive deep into a saga that's as thrilling as any game, Sixth comeback, and as loaded with promise and peril as the 2022 title run. Brogdon, a guard whose name carried weight on the East Coast Boston Celtics, Washington Wizards, and a brief stint with Portland, has been navigating murky waters lately, a talented veteran battling the curse of injuries that have clouded his twilight years, leaving fans and front offices alike pondering his true potential and next move. Last season, Brogdon's talent was shadowed by spare playing time and disappointing shooting splits, with a mere 28.6% from beyond the arc and only 24 games under his belt, as injury woes sapped the fire that once ignited Boston's hopeful playoff push. But don't let the numbers fool you. This is a player who carved his name into the league's fabric with grit, smarts, and an unyielding will to win, qualities that made him a six-man finalist, a game-changer who, against all odds, could thrive in Golden State's complex, fast-moving system built around Stephen Curry's surgical sharpshooting, Klay Thompson's ice-cold clutch gene, and Draymond Green's defensive wizardry. Think about the seismic impact a reliable, seasoned playmaker like Brogdon could have coming off the bench or even starting, adding not just scoring punch, but a cerebral edge to a Warriors roster still feeling the sting of their recent playoff exit, a roster where Moses Moody and Jonathan Kuminga press for minutes, where cap space is an ever-tightening noose, and where every signing must balance immediate firepower with long-term chemistry. Various teams have sniffed around Brogdon Los Angeles with their Chris Paul chess moves, Dallas eyeing D'Angelo Russell's crafty brilliance. But here's the twist no one predicted. Those conversations cooled as rosters solidified, leaving Golden State standing as the clear outlier, the franchise that could roll out the red carpet for Brogdon's unique blend of veteran savvy and clutch versatility. Picture this: Brogdon slicing through defenses alongside Curry and Thompson, orchestrating second-unit symphonies that dismantle opposing game plans, offering Steve Kerr a Swiss Army knife guard who elevates every possession. But it's not just tactics. There's a deeper emotional current at play. Can a player who once battled playoff setbacks and injury frustrations find redemption in the Bay Area's bright lights and unforgiving expectations? The Warriors front office, juggling salary cap constraints with the insatiable hunger of a fan base demanding another banner, may see Brogdon as the missing piece to stabilizing six-man who echoes memories of Andre Iguodala's legendary playoff runs. A man whose quiet leadership could steady a locker room simmering with young stars and championship vets alike. Yet, the stakes couldn't be higher. Brogdon's injury history looms like a shadow. Will his body hold up under the gauntlet of Golden State's relentless pace? Could the jump to the West Coast be the fresh start that reignites his career? Or a gamble that risks everything the Warriors have painstakingly built since that historic 73-9 season? And what about the ripple effects on the chemistry led by Curry's unmatched gravity on the court, Draymond's fiery defensive anchor, and Thompson's reemergence from the shadows? Could integrating Brogdon disrupt the delicate balance or forge an unstoppable triad of precision, poise, and power? As these questions hang thick in the California air, insiders like Eric Pincus hint at a silent but potent move brewing up, maneuver that could reshape the playoff seeding race and send shockwaves through the league's Western Conference hierarchy. Now, imagine the locker room whispers Moses Moody watching closely, Jonathan Kuminga eager to rise alongside a veteran's mentorship. A team whose championship hunger is ravenous, yet tempered by the scars of near misses and heartbreak. The 2024-25 season threatens to be a crucible. Will Brogdon's arrival be the spark that fires Dub Nation's legendary passion? rekindling memories of the We Believe underdog spirit or the surgical brilliance of the 2022 title run? Or will it open fissures in an otherwise polished empire, exposing vulnerabilities in a team trying desperately to thread the needle between youthful energy and seasoned mastery? Brogdon's choice is more than just a signing, it's a potential pivot point in Warriors lore, a chapter that could define legacies and alter the trajectory of a dynasty chasing immortality. As a lifelong Dub Nation believer, my pulse is racing just writing this, sensing the electric potential of a union that many thought impossible mere months ago. But is this the ignition point for our next title run, or the crack that splits our legacy? The offseason clock is ticking, the whispers are growing louder, and we are all waiting, heartbeats synchronized, eyes fixed on the horizon. Drop your unfiltered takes in the comments. I'll be right there, heart in hand. The air in the Bay Area is thick with electricity, as if the very soul of Dub Nation is holding its breath on the edge of a cliff, staring down an unknown future so massive it could either elevate the Warriors to dizzying new heights or shatter the foundations of what feels like a golden era. If you're as locked in as I am for Warriors News Fan Report, smash that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss a second of the drama from the Bay to the Chase Center. We left off at a moment that feels equal parts crossroads, and battleground Steph Curry's dazzling brilliance continues to dazzle. Yet the questions swirling around the roster and front office decisions hit harder than any buzzer beater could. The swirling trade rumors, the cryptic murmurs from the locker room, and the pressure mounting in Steve Kerr's eyes all point to one undeniable truth. This franchise is at a tipping point. Now, imagine the ripples from these potential moves, crashing through not just this team, but the entire NBA landscape. What happens if the Warriors decide to pivot, packaging a key veteran like Andrew Wiggins, or even one of the young, electrifying wing prospects to free up cap room and build around the spine of Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green one last time? The ripple effect on team chemistry could be seismic. The Warriors' locker room, historically a fortress of brotherhood, built on trust and unselfish play ever since the We Believe underdog run created that fierce family vibe in 2007, would face a test unlike any since the championship runs began in 2015. Can this team maintain its crystal-clear identity when injected with new personalities, unknown dynamics, and fresh expectations, or will the delicate balance topple, leading to not just growing pains but a full-scale identity crisis? Of course, all this speculation hangs on the tightrope of salary cap gymnastics. The Warriors front office, led by Bob Myers' legendary foresight, now faces the jigsaw puzzle of balancing luxury tax penalties against the imperative of securing a few more prime years from their core stars before Father Time inevitably throws his harshest curveballs. The question becomes, do they chase one last massive splash, perhaps a star to pair alongside Curry and Thompson, even if it means mortgaging the future, or do they buy in the patient growth, leaning on the likes of Jonathan Kuminga and Moses Moody to evolve into the next generation of game breakers? The historical parallels are haunting. Remember the heartbreak of the 73-9 season? An unprecedented run snatched away by a single moment of collapse in the finals, a fragility that underlined the importance of depth, chemistry, and clutch execution. Or flash forward to 2022 when this team, battered and battle-worn, pulled off what many called impossible, a redemption story powered by relentless grit, and the Klay Thompson we all believed would rise again, exploding with Game 6 heroics that resurrected the Warriors' legacy. There's a heartbeat in the team that refuses to die. But and here's the twist no one saw coming. What if the sting of injuries yet again clips key wings, or internal rifts over roles and minutes fracture what was once invincible? What if Draymond's veteran leadership starts to feel more like a last stand than the spark plug it has been? What does Steve Kerr's playbook look like when the pressure cooker of expectations crushes the air from the room, forcing innovation, not just on the court, but with human connections to the team psyche? Fans had watched with bated breath as the Warriors danced along the razor's edge between glory and rebuilding. And now, with off-season whispers turning into deafening roars, the stakes couldn't be higher. Could we be staring down a blockbuster? Trade that leaves Dub Nation scrambling to redefine its heart and soul? Or will an unexpected draft pick or free agent signing ignite the franchise with fresh hope? Even the seemingly unshakable Splash Brothers scenario now hangs in balance. How much longer can Curry and Thompson carry the weight of expectations when history seems to demand perfection? And as rumors swirl about possible shakeups in the coaching staff behind the scenes, questions about tactical evolution bubble just beneath the surface. Will Kerr return to the aggressive, unfiltered style that galvanized the team during the 2022 championship run? Or retreat into defense-first conservatism to shield a roster now more fragile and uncertain than ever? The emotional stakes for Dub Nation could not be higher, and every single bounce of the ball, every front office meeting, and every locker room debate inches us closer to an answer that will define the Warriors' next decade. We're standing at a threshold rife with possibility and peril, a narrative as thick and intoxicating as the roar of Chase Center crowds when the lights dim just right. And here's the clincher amid the swirling chaos, an undercurrent of silent rebellion stirs. Could a lesser-known role player, a rising star quietly honing his craft away from the spotlight, be poised to become the unexpected cornerstone this team desperately needs? Could the next We Believe magic come not? From the obvious stars, but from the unseen grit and heart that have always powered Golden State's most unforgettable moments. The emotional roller coaster recalls the electrifying streaks that made Dub Nation so intense during the 2015 championship run and beyond, where heartbeats synchronized with buzzer beaters, and the inevitable fade-outs of the 2020 season made every win have to feel like pure gold. And now, as the Warriors stare down an off-season that could dissolve or redefine the very essence of this team, the question remains, will this be the dawn of a fresh dynasty or a fracture so profound it sends this Golden State core crashing into irrelevance? And as we stand on the edge of whatever comes next for Dub Nation, I can't shake the question, are we witnessing the ignition of our next dynasty push, or the fracture that sends it all crashing down? Sound off in the comments, Dub Nation Isle. Be right there in the thick of it with you, riding every high and every heartbreak, right here on Warriors News Fan Report.